Welcome to Cyber CEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. Cyber CEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. Right, another awesome day here at Cyberbacker. My name is Jello. I'm your host, and we are back with another episode of Cyber CEO. We are very lucky to have a very, very special guest on the show today. Paul, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Thank you very much for asking. Of course, giving us your time for being on the show. So,
Sure. Thanks for having me.
for the benefit of everyone who's listening and watching, can you tell us something about yourself, Paul?
Well, I'm originally from New York. I practiced real estate in Las Vegas, Nevada for probably about 10 years.
Wow.
And then now I'm in Austin, Texas. So actually you can see in the background there you go, New York and
Yes.
the Vegas dice, the Vegas die.
Yes.
And now I'm in Austin, Texas, practicing in Austin, Texas. So it's pretty exciting. I've been practicing across a few different states. So I got a good perspective on how real estate's different in different areas and yet still the same.
Wow. Okay. So, how long have you been in the real estate industry, all in all?
So I've been in the real estate business 18 years, about 18 years.
18 years now.
Yep.
Before you started with your own cyberbacker, was this your first time working with someone virtually, or did you have experience previously?
No, actually, I have not had experience with virtual assistant. I had looked into it and explored different resources as far as different organizations offering virtual assistants, but this was actually my first.
All right, so your first ever then experience. Oh, let me ask, how's it been so far working with your own cyberbacker?
Yeah, well, actually, it's been great. You know what I was really surprised of was the level of candidates. Each of the candidates that they brought initially was pretty well qualified, and it was actually a tough decision in regards to choosing the right cyberbacker. So right off the bat, one of the things that I was very impressed with, and I'm actually referring to often in regards to people that are needing some administrative leverage and virtual assistant are considering virtual assistant possibilities, is that there was obviously a lot of intention behind what you guys do. I know you have the Cyberbacker KPA or what?
Yes, our CVPA, yes.
Yeah, CVA, right. The personality assessment that helps better understand people's strengths to better fit them in the role. And obviously that was definitely something that was part of seeing the fact that there were more qualified candidates in regards to what I was looking to do in front of me. And that the process behind that was very intentional and very thorough. And then past that was, and I was surprised to learn this because I didn't understand this, was the level of community and support that you guys provide at Cyberbacker. I was very impressed with that. I'm with 𝗙𝗹𝗃. Obviously, there's a lot of that. The ownership from Cyberbacker originally with 𝗙𝗹𝗃 and Maps Coaching, Keller's coaching division. I could see the correlation and how they were using a lot of those systems and models to be able to ensure that not only were we increasing the quality of the candidates initially, but how we were supporting those candidates, how you guys were supporting those candidates through the process. That was really reassuring, knowing that I'm probably taking a lot more steps to support my administrative help than most realtors are, because I'm with them every day. I have a screen up on my station, up in my workstation, so that we're communicating and we're talking, and I'm actually watching what they're doing. They're watching what I'm doing, depending on what we're learning at the moment. And I think that's very critical, by the way. I think sometimes people are going to hire administrative help and then just push them off into the oblivion and think that they're going to do an amazing job. They're walking in and they're learning something new. So that support is very, very important in regards to what the individual or the organization can do to help them. And knowing also that Cyberbacker has their own internal division of coaching and masterminding and role play. I mean, that's awesome. And so combining what I do above and beyond with what you guys do I'd be surprised if anybody out there in regards to the virtual assistant world is doing what you guys are doing in regards to support at the multiple levels of support that you're doing it. I'd be very surprised. But what you're doing is ultimately providing a better chance of success. And if the person who's investing in the Cyberbacker is willing to put in even, a quarter to half as much effort as Cyberbacker themselves are investing to support their Cyberbackers, then it's going to be a win-win scenario.
Yeah, just like what you mentioned, our cyberbackers back you up, and we are also here to back up our cyberbackers. Again, the community is here. Again, relationship is very, very important here in Cyberbacker. Now, you mentioned earlier that you do have these video calls with your cyberbacker, right, Kristen? So you have these video calls every day, is that right?
Yeah. So we do. So he's an ISA, so he's making outbound calls, and he's helping me with some database management. But so we have role play sessions 8 to 8:30 every day, and it's a little weird. Well, COVID's allowed us to understand that a lot of stuff's going to happen virtually. So it's not weird where he's joining us virtually, and 2 or 3 of my other team members are also virtual, and we're having this virtual meeting in regards to increasing our skill set, talking about mindset, and talking about strategies. And we're spending 30 minutes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. On Friday, I do a one-on-one session with him. And then while we're working and prospecting, my team prospects 9 to 10:30. We call them sprints. And in that first sprint session in the morning, we're all in a room, and then Christian's up on a screen, and we can hear him, he can hear us. And, sometimes we're muting because we're too loud, or he's too loud, or whatever. But what it does is allow me to have him in the room, and allow me to monitor what he's doing for the purpose of helping him.
Yes.
Right. And he's expressed a genuine appreciation around the fact that he's working with us at the moment, in the moment, and that and then I can help him, that he could ask questions, because being virtual, you can be on an island. Well, look, we're already on an island anyways in real estate. We're kind of all doing our own thing. So I think it's really important to have him in the room with us, so that in the moment he can ask a question. In the moment, I can provide some advice based off of what I heard him say, or what I want him to do next, or some sort of collaboration where there's communication happening at the moment, in the moment, because he's in the room.
I think what you just mentioned is very, very important for other, of course, people who are going to be having their own cyberbacker in the future. That's terrific advice, because that makes the cyberbacker feel that they are part of the family, part of your team.
Yeah.
Now, we've been talking about Kristen for a while now. What can you tell me about him? The personality-wise, tell me something about him.
So again, it was tough to choose, because there was, I narrowed it. I think I spoke with 4. I think they put 4 candidates in front of me, and 2 I really liked. The third I liked too, but all 4 actually were considerable. All 4 were considerable. So it was a tough choice. And what I really loved about Christian was his mindset and his natural personality and energy. Now, everybody has strengths. Yes. Everybody has, things that they need to improve on, or challenge, or things that need to work on. And so it was great, because Christian's mindset was in such a place. He was coachable. Now, some of that was just through the interview process, like asking good questions on where they were at. And I think that when you pay attention closely to people's energy, so I learned something. Let me just share this real quick with you. Sure. Is that in some of my own coaching, because I coach agents, I coach teams, is that I learned that when you hire the right people, they do the right things. Yes. And so, like, if you go with your gut a little bit in the interview process, when you're interviewing the cyberbackers, and that's what I did, right? Is like, there was somebody who had more experience than him in what he did, but the energy around him and his ability to speak well and to think more deeply about some of the questions I'd asked him indicated to me that, hey, this guy doesn't have his experience doesn't directly correlate. It was close in regards to some of the stuff that he'd done, but his mindset and his energy was in the right place. And so we've really been able to work on moving into some of the other mindset challenges there are. Doing ISA works is, it's not easy. And so, but the foundation of who he was and who he is, when I say was, right, in the interview process, but who he is, help me understand how I can help him grow. And when there's a really good core foundation around, like, what are we doing? Okay. For us, we're connecting people to the American dream. Right. And why is it important? Because it can create financial freedom for people. And then we work on okay, well, how do we connect with more people? And how do we make sure that this is about connection and about sharing? And when I was able to instill that core fundamental belief in him, and then look, there's reapplication of that, because especially with ISAs, that's a real challenge to be able to sit there and make those calls every day.
Yes,
but when you come from contribution and you have a solid core foundation, then we're able to grow. We've been able to grow tremendously.
Well, I love what you mentioned, that you were able to grow then with Christian there. Now, I know he's been doing a lot for you as well, but how much time has he saved you ever since he started working with you, Paul?
So he's saved me tremendous time. So the type of prospecting that I have him doing is old internet lead follow-up and circle prospecting. Expireds and fizzballs take quite a bit of talent. And so the circle prospecting is a little bit more laborious in regards to how much time you have to put into it. And he's saved me tremendous time in regards to beginning the nurture process, because so many of those leads are leads that take time to cultivate. I think we've tracked, he's been creating 35 to 40 leads a month. Wow. And he's been setting 5 to 6 appointments a month. The goal is to get to 8. The first couple of months, they're really putting their head on straight, I think, which is why it's really, really important that people work with their cyberbacker and spend time with them outside of just a weekly one-on-one, is to find a way to incorporate them more into the daily day-to-day. Because there's a lot to learn, and not just the conversation, but the systems and models around how to make your lead generation or whatever it is that you're doing with the cyberbacker successful. And so he's just been a tremendous asset to us.
So you already touched again on the part where what he does, setting up appointments, circle prospecting, but does he do anything else for you and your team?
He does some database management. He's also working on internet leads and helping us stay close to nurturing the longer term internet leads for us, and doing a little bit of maintenance on. So we use Mojo and we use 𝗙𝗏𝗏, and he's I've been able to train him on some of the maintenance with Mojo and 𝗙𝗏𝗏, which again saves me time. I mean, he's literally saving me. All the hours he's working is what he's saving me.
Wow. Okay. Now, I know that Kristen's role is already something very impactful to your business, but his role could still grow in the next few months, the years to come. Now, what are some of the things that you're considering having him do in the future?
Yeah, so actually, we've just had a conversation in regards to increasing his hours and having him take on more responsibilities. He's a smart guy. And I think that was part of me understanding initially upon the initial interview, is that, look, this guy's intelligent. He speaks well. He's got a great attitude. And when you hire the right people, they do the right things. And so what am I doing to be able to help them and provide the guidance and the systems and the models and the leadership that he needs? And so the next level of growth for us is taking on a little bit more responsibility administratively, and really helping me continue to develop the systems and models that we already have in place, so that when we hire another cyberbacker and the team continues to grow, that there's an opportunity for leadership with him in leading a cyberbacker or leading an ISA division, which absolutely I can see us hiring an additional, and then maybe another additional. I could see 2 or 3 cyberbackers on my team easily. Going in that direction and setting it all up takes the right people. And, with Christian, I really do believe that I have the right person.
Wow, that's exciting, because you're going to be creating your own cyberbacker team over there with Christian leading the pack. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, he's demonstrated he has the right attitude. He has the work ethic, and learning the systems and models. Those are all latch-on skills that we could just bolt on.
Yes.
So it's he's been just so willing, so coachable. to just take direction in regards to what needs to be done and to be detailed with that. And it's a lot. It's a lot. You know, when you, whether it's an ISA or it's an and it's more in an administrative position for Cyberbacker, look, they're walking into a lot. So how am I supporting them to help them win?
I think that's a good question for all of our cyber CEOs out there. How am I supporting them to get them to win as well? That's going to be growth for them because, again, if you're investing in your cyberbacker, it's like investing in your business as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Now, my next question is a bit tough. Have there been any challenges that you've had working with Cyberbacker or opportunities for growth?
Yeah. So I think the challenges have been obviously the lingo, you know, real estate's its own thing. So learning what things mean, and that's just a process, right? Those are latch on tools. And the technology, right? Again, more just learning what am I looking at and what am I doing and what are the systems and models behind what are the systems and models behind the conversation and what are the systems and models behind the organization, and that's just a process. So I, as a leader, have to figure out, okay, how am I going to introduce? How am I going to maintain? And then how are we going to grow? And so that's challenges to me as well on making sure that I'm holding myself accountable on not just where we started and where we're at, but where are we going? And so there's challenges on both sides to make sure that we continue to grow. But overall, I think that, you know, for me, I've been, I don't want to say lucky enough, because I think Cyberbacker really was intentional about putting the right candidates in. I personally, I've got a lot of experience leading I had a large team in Las Vegas before Austin. I led a market center of 500 agents with a team of 10. So I had a little bit more discernment on figuring out who might be a better fit for me. Because here's the thing, if he wasn't a right fit, I feel very confident that going back to Cyberbacker and finding someone who was a right fit was absolutely going to happen. And so I right now, and I was lucky enough that Christian and I are a great fit, but that if it hadn't worked out, that I could go back and look because of seeing all that Cyberbacker does, understand that, hey, you know what? It's like any other job or any other organization. There's not always going to be a perfect fit. Okay, what do we do about that? Cyberbacker's structures and models and systems allow me to be able to go back and resource that and, you know, take another swing.
I think that is the bread and butter of Cyberbackers, what you mentioned. We are here to partner you with the best fit possible, of course, and it's a good thing that we already have that fit between you and Christian. Now, one last thing, Paul. What advice would you be able to give other business owners when they're hiring their own Cyberbacker?
Yeah, so I think we kind of we've been reinforcing this whole conversation is what are you going to do to help them win? Because I believe from what I saw on all the candidates that Cyberbacker had put in front of me is that there's people with experience. There's people that are hungry. You know, they want to learn, they want to be part of something, they want to work. Okay, so who do I need to be, and what do I need to provide, and how do I continue to support them, and what kind of culture do I create for them to want to continue to be part of? And then when I'm focused on that, everything else just takes care of itself, and it's a win-win situation.
There we go. Again, going back to that question. What are you going to do for them to win? I love that question. Now, one more thing. I know that Kristen is listening to us right now. What would you want to tell him? Or a quick shout out on the show for Kristen?
Yeah, Christian is awesome. And I'm extremely grateful and blessed to have you on my team, Christian. And I know I've told you this before. I'm getting warm fuzzies right now, even thinking about it, that he's a human being who cares. And a human being who has learned to understand how to connect with strangers, and that when people are not happy about or excited that he calls, that it's not really about him, it's about them. And because he's been so open to learn something new, the ability to connect with other human beings, it's a complicated process.
Yes.
And he's been so open to it. And I know that with his heart and with his commitment, that there's so much more opportunity for us to grow, which is why I took another step and took our relationship to the next level in regards to how we're going to grow with Christian. And ultimately, I'm excited in regards to what that means for his opportunities and growth, and what that might mean for leadership and even more growth for the team and for him.
Of course, we are looking forward to see where your partnership with Cyberbacker and Kristen would be in the next few years to come. Paul, thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of Cyber CEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. For more details, please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com or follow us on Facebook, Cyberbacker Inc.